Join me as I dive into the controversial world of Prince Harry's demand for an apology from the royal family over their involvement in the slave trade. Can I uncover the truth behind this explosive topic? Prince Harry's been making waves recently, demanding an apology from the royal family for their historical involvement in the slave trade. It's a bold move, and one that's sparked a lot of debate. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty, I want to set the scene. The royal family's history is steeped in tradition and pageantry, but it's also tainted by some darker moments, and this is definitely one of them. It's not hard to see why Prince Harry's taking a stand on this issue. As a member of the royal family, he's got a unique platform to raise awareness and spark change. And let's be real, an apology from the royals would be a huge step forward in acknowledging the harm that's been done. But it's not all straightforward. There are some pretty strong feelings on both sides of the argument. So, what do you think? Should the royal family be apologizing for their past actions, or is this all just a bit of PR spin? Let me know in the comments below. Social media's been buzzing with reactions to Prince Harry's demand, and it's been fascinating to see the different perspectives. Some people are fully behind him, saying that it's high time the royals acknowledge their role in the slave trade. Others are more skeptical, arguing that an apology would be nothing more than an empty gesture. I've seen some hilarious memes poking fun at the idea of the Queen having to issue a formal apology. Can you imagine? But in all seriousness, this is a really important conversation we're having. And it's not just about the royals, it's about the wider implications of historical accountability. Of course, there are some who think Prince Harry's being hypocritical, given the royal family's continued wealth and privilege. And that's a valid point. If the royals are going to apologize, they need to be willing to back it up with action. But I think it's also important to recognize that this is a step in the right direction, and that Prince Harry's willingness to speak out is a sign of progress. Okay, so now that we've set the scene, let's take a closer look at the historical context of the royal family's involvement in the slave trade. It's not a pretty story, but it's an important one to tell. The British monarchy's links to slavery date back to the 17th century, when they first started colonizing the Americas. And it's estimated that the royal family directly profited from the slave trade to the tune of millions of pounds. But it wasn't just a case of the royals passively benefiting from slavery, they were actively involved in it, too. The Duke of Clarence, for example, was a vocal supporter of slavery, and even advocated for its expansion. And let's not forget King Charles II, who was directly responsible for the establishment of the Royal African Company, which was tasked with trading in African slaves. Fast forward to the 19th century, and the abolition of slavery in Britain. You'd think that would be the end of the story, but unfortunately not. The royal family continued to profit from their colonial endeavors, and it's estimated that they still benefit from them to this day. So, what does Prince Harry's demand for an apology mean in this context? Well, for one thing, it's a recognition that the royal family's past actions have had a lasting impact on the present. It's an acknowledgement that the wealth and privilege they enjoy today is built on the backs of enslaved people. It's also a call to action. Prince Harry's saying that it's time for the royals to make amends, and to start taking concrete steps to address the legacy of slavery. And that's not just about apologizing for the past, it's about working towards a more equitable future. Of course, not everyone agrees that an apology is necessary, or even meaningful. Some argue that it's all just a bit of tokenism, and that the royals should focus on making real changes instead. And I get that, an apology without action is just empty words. But I think Prince Harry's demand is about more than just an apology, it's about accountability. It's about recognizing that the royal family's actions have had real-world consequences, and that they need to take responsibility for that. So, what do you think are the most shocking revelations about the royal family's involvement in the slave trade? For me, it's the sheer scale of their involvement. I had no idea they'd profited to the tune of millions of pounds. But what about you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The reactions to Prince Harry's demand have been pretty telling, too. I've seen a lot of outrage from people who think the royals should be doing more to make amends, but I've also seen some pretty vitriolic pushback from those who think he's going too far. But here's the thing, Prince Harry's demand isn't just about the royal family, it's about all of us. It's about acknowledging our shared history, and taking responsibility for it. And that's not always easy, I get it, but it's necessary if we want to move forward. One thing's for sure, Prince Harry's demand is going to have some major implications for the royal family, and for our perception of them. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond, and what kind of changes they're willing to make. I think Prince Harry's demand is a major turning point. It's a chance for the royal family to confront their past, and to start making amends. And I know it's not going to be easy, but I think it's necessary if we want to build a more just and equitable society. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to share your thoughts on Prince Harry's demand, please do so in the comments below. And if you want to check out another related video, I've got a link in the description box. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you all in the next video.